All right, my friends. Yeah, welcome to ZiggyAir. We are in Rochester, New York. Beautiful day for a quick flight into Toronto City Airport there, and we're continuing to highlight the World Cup in the opening games. And today we are flying to Toronto for the opening game between Canada and Bosnia and Herzegovina. And yeah, it's gonna be a quick flight. We're gonna talk about yesterday's games in Mexico, and we're gonna talk about today's game in Toronto. Any issues, any controversies, anything else? It's gonna be highlighted here today. And just stay with us. Join us if you're not here yet, and you wouldn't know but anyway. Join us in this flight, and the Baron is ready on the runway 28 here in Rochester. We got the flight plan set for it. It's just gonna be a straight quick fly into Toronto City Airport here. The weather looks good. Let's check out. Yeah, we got some showers to the east, some showers to the south, but Toronto runway 26 here at Toronto City should be fine. We're gonna overfly the Toronto stadium there, and let's get going. We are going to fly slow and low here. Gonna set this for, let's do 3,000. It's just gonna be over the Lake Ontario here, so it shouldn't be a problem. That's 89 degrees. Let's get going because it's kind of warm in here. We're not expecting any showers. We got some stiff winds coming from 270, about 20 knots there. That shouldn't be a problem for us. All right, I'm just trying to see if the volumes are okay here. You can hear the volumes for the engines a little bit here. I'm just not going to put them too loud. All right, so where are the flaps? Flaps to take off. Mixture is fully rich. Landing lights are on. Let's turn on the prop sync. We don't need the pitot heats. And we're ready to go. We're looking for 70 as our V1 rotating speed, full power, and let's get going. Yeah, we got some wind coming from the left here, from the right, I'm sorry. 70 quickly comes in. We are airborne. Gonna trim, gonna bring in our gear. Gear is up, and yeah, beautiful departure here from Rochester. All right, let's go ahead and set our course, which is going to be here straight into a heading of 303, and let's level off here at 3,000. So let's turn on our autopilot, engage autopilot, heading 303, heading mode. Looking good. Yeah. All right. let's bring the volume a little bit. It's kind of loud, those engines here, so we'll bring them down. And let's talk football, my friends. Que viva el football. So, like I said, the flight plan is straight. Billy Bishop Toronto City Airport is our destination, and it's about 180 nautical miles, and that's it for the flight plan. It's just gonna be straight in. This heading 303 is set, and that's about it for it. We'll just try to keep it contained here. Let's see if we're going to turn off our landing lights. Everything else set. We're gonna bring back the throttle just a bit. We're hot here on the throttles, and the RPMs go to 2500. And forgot to bring up the flaps. I was just concentrated on the games here and stuff like that. But let's see if our passengers are comfortable. Let's look at them. Yeah, they're comfortable. Let's bring out their table here so they can use their laptops and just to look at the games and place any bets they want to place here. And speaking about bets, the bookmakers and other AI prediction models have Canada narrowly beating the Bosnia and Herzegovina team. It's basically mainly because they're playing as a home team in their home soil, and Canada sits 30th in FIFA there as their rankings, and Bosnia is 64. I don't know. However, it's expected that the game is going to be brutal in terms of the play. It's going to be very physical. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like the Mexico game against Mexico play against who did they play? Mexico played against oh my god. Anybody on the comments down below tell me who played? It's just blanking out at this point. Well, anyway, it was a 2-0 victory, Mexico. And yeah, South Africa, I'm sorry. Mexico played South Africa yesterday 2-0, and there were 3 red cards. 2 for South Africa, 1 for Mexico. And yeah, it was kind of brutal. It was hot, and the players did take those breaks that they're giving out now. You know, I'm sure they appreciate that. Anyway, so we are heading in, and we're looking at this game, Canada, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and what's flashing here. Okay, so it's a Group B opening game here in Canada. There were 2 games in Mexico yesterday. South Korea played Chechnya, and South Korea beat them 2-1. And also it was kind of a very physical game. South Korea kind of pulled it off with beautiful goals there. And Chechnya had a nice header and goal there on a set play. It was a great game. The Mexico-South Africa game was a great game, you know, aside from all those red cards there. But I actually think that it was a fairly good officiating game. I thought the official did a fantastic job on that game. He called it. Some people might argue that that last red card on in Mexico there was not not it wasn't really deserved by Mexico, but I thought the guy tackled him. The South African was going in the direction of the goal, so I thought that the red card was appropriate at that time, and I thought he did a good job. And the same thing for the game between South Korea and Chechnya. The officiating was good. There was a goal that was taken back, void by the offside there by Chechnya. So it was a nice header, and they nullified the goal because Chechnya was offside. Anyway, so let's get back to the Canada. So Canada is they kind of like the team really hasn't meshed really well up till now. Their manager Jesse March is came in, and he is put them through their paces and trying to get them ready for this tournament, and I think there is creating some issues there with the players, but I'm sure that Canada will be ready. Let's see how it goes with this Bosnia and Herzegovina team, which is not, like I said, is ranked 64th and not really well thought of as a team that is well put together. So let's see how it goes. The jinx for opening game in Canada, in Toronto, might play a part here in terms of how Canada plays. But anyway, looking at controversies here, we have some injury drama here. And for Canada, their biggest controversy here is global superstar Alphonso Davies has been ruled completely unavailable due to injury, and so we have and then young forward Marcelo Flores was also tragically knocked out of the tournament with an injury early this week. So that forced a last-minute addition of Jaden Nelson. So meanwhile, defender Moise Bombito, who was also thought too badly damaged to play less than a week ago, somehow passed the second fitness test there to reclaim his spot, and then at least they got him. And however, there's some controversy about it. Some people think that he's not ready, but let's see how it goes. So in terms of the stadium here, there's still some other controversy there on the stadium, the Toronto Stadium, the BMO Field, which is the smallest of the venues here for the World Cup. But it required like a massive 146 million Canadian dollars renovation to add and bolt about 17,000 temporary seats, and that's to kind of like comply with FIFA's strict 45,000 seat minimum requirement. So the local taxpayers in Toronto, which they always complain that they have really high taxes, especially in Toronto. Really, they are furious because the city ballooned its total hosting budget to 380 million Canadian dollars to fund this massive corporate stadium seats, and the city actually backtracked on its public promise and only delivered 12 community mini pitches originally pledged to the underprivileged. I'm sorry, there's a what happened here? It's the airplane doing some stuff here. Anyway, I sometimes get too into the football here and fail to pay attention to my airplane, and I just want to make sure that all the parameters here are good. So oil temperature, oil pressure is good, fuel flow is good. We cooled down to 69 degrees, so that's great. So we're good. We're good, my friends. So we are heading into open waters here, and let's get going on the football here. Hopefully, my system crashed yesterday in the middle of a flight into Mexico City. I had to do 2 takes on it, but hopefully today it'll go well. Let me know in the comments down below if the sound is good or if the sound is too loud on the aircraft. Let's see if we get an outside view here. Hopefully that's not too loud. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this controversy? This is happening more and more in terms of with FIFA. You know, FIFA, I'm sure FIFA, everybody knows that FIFA is a very ethical organization. Sure, they are. They don't bribe, you know, head of states or anything like that. They don't bribe teams or others. No, that's not FIFA, my friends. FIFA is very, very straight, short. Anyway, but it's happening more and more that cities, when they host these games and they set up their stadiums and the renovations, it happened in Mexico City too, where the Estadio Azteca there had to get some renovations in it. Of course, it went over budget, and it was, you know, pretty a pretty strong controversy there with the fans, especially when the organizers renamed the stadium for the games they're going to play there. They renamed Estadio Azteca into Bang North Stadium, just because FIFA wanted to get some promotional money there, and that didn't sit well with the fans there in Mexico. But hey, I'm not aware. I think Toronto Stadium is already named for some financial institution. I can't remember, BMO. I'm not sure what BMO Field. I'll check that. Say BMO is Bank of what? Who knows? Let's check that out. Bank of Missouri? No. BMO is banking institution in Canada, and it stands for what? No, I'm not sure. BMO. It's just BMO. Anyway, so let's go back to football, my friends. And yeah, so that was a controversy there on the football here on the stadium, and the game itself is going to be played today at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Let me check on that. I just want to make sure that that's the time. I think that we are a little bit early, and yeah, 3 p.m. And then there's another game in the U.S. That's the opening game at the LA Coliseum. Let's see. Let me look at the schedule. Hold on, I'm losing here. I got the Wi-Fi is disconnected. See, I was at my neighbor's house today and disconnected the Wi-Fi, so that's why it's slow to give me the information that I need. But not to, let's see. So World Cup schedules. Alright, so yeah, I think that in the US we have, I want to create an image. Come on, Gemini. So, yeah, so today, so we talked about Canada and Bosnia. So today at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, it's going to be match 4. It's going to be U.S. versus Paraguay. All right. So, Paraguay, and we'll talk about that game too. So, and then tomorrow we have a bunch of games here in Boston, in the Boston area. Haiti versus Scotland on Group C, and then in Canada and Vancouver we have Australia versus Turkey, Group D, and then also we have in New Jersey, in New York, New Jersey, we have Brazil versus Morocco, Group C, and then in San Francisco Bay Area we have Qatar versus Switzerland. Let's take a look at the game for the U.S. All right, so there we have it. Nice day. So we got some showers to the west here. Not a big deal. I think that let's see, we are fairly close. Got the showers to the west, so, and so Paraguay, there's always the pressure of the U.S., you know, opening game there in LA. It's the U.S. favorite, so yes, they are favorite to win just because it's their playing at home. Now, the issue here is Paraguay really hasn't played well. I think that they really got into this group as the last team, and I think this a lot of people, especially in the markets, in the betting markets, are not putting too much faith in that Paraguay is going to give the U.S. any a run for their money. But you never know. You know, there's always the ghost of opening day, and who knows what would happen if that comes true for the U.S. So hopefully, let's see how it goes. All right. So, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Who are you rooting for? If you are in the U.S., sometimes at these days, there's a lot of ill will against the U.S., especially in this World Cup. Is the stadium gonna be filled? Are there gonna be some protests? I don't think so. But who knows? There's always an issue with the World Cup. There's always some controversy, and this year is no stranger to controversies, with FIFA giving Trump peace prize, and then Trump deciding that he's going to start a war with Iran and start different wars, and setting his sights in Cuba. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and then FIFA got a lot of flack for that. But of course, FIFA needed to bribe Trump, and Trump was willing to accept any bribes. That's Trump. That's what he does. He's the crooked politician there. All politicians are crooked. I mean, that's not news to anyone. It's just Trump does it at a level that is right there up front. He doesn't care. He feels protected and all that stuff. So, but crooked politicians are all crooked. So I don't care what you say. I haven't found a politician that is not crooked. If you look deep enough, you'll find some issues. All right, so we're getting close to our Toronto City Airport. We're going to set our approach here. Let's look at the approach to runway 224. There's nothing in there, so we'll just set it. Let's see the weather right now. We have the winds coming 16 knots at 270. It's a little bit choppy there, but that's not an issue. The pressure is 2967. We got a little bit of turbulence ahead. That's not a problem for ZiggyAir, my friends. ZiggyAir will always get you there. So let's set our barometric pressure at 2967, and barometric pressure is set. Let's go down to our approach altitude of 1000, and let's take it easy here on our descent. Set it to 500, engage, bring back the throttle, and that is set. All right, so going back to let's look at going back to football. So, who are you rooting for? Is it Canada? Is it Bosnia and Herzegovina? I thought that game between between South Korea and Chechnya was pretty good. Uh, you could see how both of those teams were really playing their hearts out. Uh, so that's good to see that there's some, the teams are taking this seriously. They want to win. South Korea did a nice job, and the stadium was full. I was a little bit surprised. I mean, the Estadio Azteca holds 88,000 people, and there were only 81,000 people in there. So for an opener, I think that it was kind of like not the attendance that I expected. I expected it really then to be more people in there, but who knows? With all the controversies there, Estadio Azteca, I think that that's pretty good for them at this point. And let's see how I'm sure that it will be full in Canada. They will fill that stadium. Let's see about LA Coliseum tonight. And they're playing Paraguay. There's not a large Paraguayan community in the U.S., so I think it's going to be all U.S. there. Let's see how that goes. And let's take a look at now. Let me see. I don't want to. I can't even see the coastline here. Should be fairly close to right there. Okay, I see it. I see the Toronto skyline over here. So let's bring back the throttle just a bit, and we're gonna set. We're just gonna go straight in. Let's bring in turn to 320, and we're set for runway 26. I got this new add-on, global shipping lines, and I'm happy that they have shipping lines here in Lake Ontario here. Look at that. That looks great. Is that a sailboat there? Yeah, it looks like it. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get back to our approach here. A little bit cloudy, a little bit misty, high humidity. Let's configure our aircraft here for our landing. Landing lights go on. Make sure full forward, props full forward. And let's get a set of flaps here, and I'm going to disconnect the autopilot and manually fly this approach. Let's see where we are here. We should be turning 260 pretty soon here. Let's see if we got the airport in sight. Should be to our 10 o'clock here, 11 o'clock. I love this airport. It's really challenging, and it's a nice approach into Toronto. But today with this mist, and it's a little bit hard to see the runway. Got some showers. Alright, let's bring down our gear. I still don't have the airport in sight. Let's see, it should be right there. I can see the lights, the poppy lights there. Look at this beautiful approach here, my friends. Isn't that nice? Look at that. Oops. Okay, what's happening here? All right. Here we go. Sorry, my mouse got stuck here. Well, let's go take a fly over here. I wonder if should be right over here. Yeah, I see. I got the airport in sight. I had a hard time finding it, my friends. I haven't flown in this airport in a little while, so I had a hard time in there. I'm not using ATC, you know. Sometimes it gets in the way of a good discussion, especially about football. Alright, we're going a little bit too fast. Gonna bring back the throttle. And let's get the full flaps here, because this is a small runway. And that wind is coming straight at us at 15 knots, so makes it a little bit challenging here with the managing my throttles, my speed here. Poppies say I'm low, but I'm fine because this is a small runway. There we go.
That felt great on rollout.
Exactly, my friends. Felt pretty good on rollout. Enough here, and I'm just gonna take this exit over here. So welcome to Toronto, my friends, and let's see if we can get our limousine for to take us to the stadium. We're gonna have some lunch before that. Anyone know any good places in Toronto to have lunch? I don't know. I haven't been in Toronto in a while, so let's turn off our landing lights, turn on our taxi lights, turn off the weather radar, bring back the flaps. Flaps are up. And let's find our spot in our limousine, which I see in front of us. So, right by the fuel depot there. All right. This airport needs some paving here. It's a little bit rough. All right. And we're gonna set it. We got our marshal here. We pay good money for these marshals. And yeah. There we go. There we go. Thank you very much for your service, sir. And let's take a look from the tower view. There we go. Beautiful skyline of the city of Toronto. Beautiful airport. It's always a very challenging approach, especially if you don't use any ATC. But I really don't care about ATC. So let's shut down here. And parking brake is set. We're gonna turn off our taxi lights. Gonna bring the mixture back. Both of them. Props are off. Lights are off. Avionics are shut down. Batteries shut down. And we're out of here. We're going to get some lunch and then we're gonna watch the game. Well, thank you for watching ZiggyAir on the second flight of our tour of the World Cup sites, our tour of both Canada, the US, and Mexico. Will be doing that all throughout the tournament. So stay tuned, join us. Sometimes I'll do a live stream. Sometimes I'll just go ahead and do a video depending on where we have to go because there are a lot of games. So, but stay tuned to ZiggyAir. We'll talk about games. We'll talk about results. We'll talk about controversies and whatever else you want to talk about. And again, remember, ZiggyAir will always get you there. ZiggyAir is best in the air. ZiggyAir is best in the air, and I really don't make this stuff up. I'm only told what to say. I'll see you on the next one.